Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time viewing my channel, my name is Monica. Here on this channel I do DIYs, crafting, and occasionally revamping. We have three beautiful crafts for you today, and as you can see in the header it's stated apple theme. So let's get started with our first apple DIY. For DIY number one, we have this apple hanger that was purchased from Dollar Tree. Now what I'm just simply going to do here is just paint over the front part of this, but I will advise, because this is like a paper material that's on the front, I will advise that you either remove that paper material by just getting a sander block and just scraping that off, or get up underneath the paper and peeling it off, or just basically turn the sign over and paint on that side and cover up that back part with a piece of shipping paper on the back. But what I'm just doing here is just going over the top and just taking my paint color of choice, which you can choose whatever paint color that you want, and if you choose to paint this. Here I'm just painting this with one of my DIY chalk paints, basically like a little apple, not apple, but greenish color, not too dark and not too light is what I meant. So here you see that I've painted it. We finished painting it. Now I'm going to take a piece of burlap, also from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cover the top portion of the stem part with the burlap. I'm going to wrap that around. And what I failed to mention before, I did remove, and I think you probably saw that, I removed the actual jute twine from the apple before I painted it. But we're going to use that twine later that you will be able to see as well. Now, I apologize, I'm out of camera focus right here, but the only thing that I was doing is just gluing that burlap piece of fabric on the back. And notice I did not remove the leaf, because I do still want to use that leaf, but I moved it out of the way from when I was painting it. Okay, after I get finished doing the piece of burlap, I'm then going to glue on my wording. And I also have these from Dollar Tree. They're the wood packs that they sell at Dollar Tree, and you will need, if you choose to do this, you will need to get 2 packs, because they only have 1 letter per pack. And as you can see here, for the word fall, you're going to need 2 L's. Now what I did here was paint my wording with that Waverly Chalk paint when I get finished painting it. And that was Hazelnut, the paint, the Waverly Chalk paint. So now that I'm finished painting it, I'm just gluing on my letters. You can glue your letters on horizontally, however you want. I have my little bow that I'm applying to the top. And I also want to, this is a step that you don't have to do. I just took some a little piece of boxwood that I have left just to embellish that leaf a little bit more. And that, just like I said, just add a little bit embellishment to the leaf. And then after this, I'm going to take that piece of jute twine, and I'm gonna, as you can see here, apply beading. Now what I did, this is a neutral, the beading were neutral colored, and I also just painted those with that Hazelnut Waverly Chalk paint. I'm gonna apply this back into the hole, and that will complete DIY number 1. Okay, moving on to DIY number 2. For DIY number 2, we're going to be using one of these free laminate flooring pieces from Lowe's, and this is a thicker piece of that laminate that is going to be able to sit up on its own. I have some red tissue paper, and we have some Mod Podge. What I'm simply doing here first is applying a light coat on the front of the laminate. I'm going to lay my tissue paper down on it and smooth it out slightly, and I'm going to do the same process all around this piece of laminate wood. That's going to be front, back, and the sides. Now I will say that on some of these pieces you have those little grooves that's on the side. You want to make certain that you take your Mod Podge and the thinner part of your paint brush and smooth that tissue paper down in the center of those as well. Now once I get finished with that, I'm going to go over the tissue paper with another layer of Mod Podge just to seal that tissue paper in real good and tight. And I'm going to cut away any extra tissue paper that is left on here. Once that Mod Podge has completely dried, I'm then going to take one of the stems that Dollar Tree has a bag. They normally sell those around this year, the bag of stems, but you can go outside and just cut you off a piece of stem as well. So I'm going to apply the stem to the top. Then I also have a piece of leaf that was on the floor. I'm going to put the leaf on, and I'm going to take my ribbon and the Rafia bow and apply that to the top. After that, now you can stop at that point, but after that I'm then going to take one of the stencils and stencil on just a design, and then I'm going to stencil on my initial and put on the front of the apple, and that will complete DIY number 2. Okay, DIY number 3. Here we'll be using one of the circular charger plates. I think I've showed this to you in another DIY that I've done before. Now here I'm going to paint this yellow side with the black flat paint. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to paint this with the Waverly white chalk paint. And that is just to get rid of that white glare on the front, and I painted it on the back so that that yellow won't be showing through this white. Now you can do this with the charger plates at Dollar Tree as well. These are just some that I had here. Now, and I've also shown you before on different DIYs how I create using the putting wording onto tissue paper. So this is what I'm doing here. I just created my wording and printed it off on the tissue paper. I'm going to actually trim down my wording from the tissue paper. Here I'm just placing it to see how I want it. I'm going to trim that down though, take my Mod Podge, paint it onto, not paint it, but just layer it onto the charger, and then I'm going to place down my wording onto the charger, and from there I'm going to take one of the I'm gonna allow that to completely dry. Once I have that completely dried, I'm then going to take one of the images from one of the 2021 calendars from Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to cut that out and put it in the center. Once I have that cut out, I'm then going to take and put on my handles, as you can see here. Now these particular handles were some that I already had around the house, so I'm just gonna hot glue those on, but I would recommend, if you're going to use the handles, to put you a super glue or something else that will give a permanent hold for these. You can also just treat this as a hanging piece and just take a piece of jute twine and glue it on the back and let it hang as well if you don't want to do the handles. That is going to complete, and I will also mention, if this is going to be around a watered area or whatever, I will suggest that you go over it with a top coat of a water protectant sealant, or either take Mod Podge and just Mod Podge over to seal in and have it protected from any water. And that is going to complete DIY number 3. Thank you all again for viewing my channel. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button to like this video, and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so as of yet, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And also remember to always look in the description for all the supplies that are used on today for each DIY. And remember that you can follow me on Instagram at UKNEIK. Have a wonderful day.